That gentleman there at the back.
How did you end up playing a vampire in a horror movie when you started off playing a Time Lord in a science fiction series?
Because they paid me extremely well. You have to remember that I'm not really Doctor Who, you know. I'm a working actor. Well, from that question, you think that I only ever played Doctor Who. No, I mean, I've done a lot of things before, and I hope to do a lot of things afterwards. I have done, you know, since. So it is just that during the break in Doctor Who, I was asked to play in this horror movie. It was a nice one to do because there were 4 complete sections, and I had one of them, and Christopher Lee had the other. In fact, Christopher Lee came up to me after. Put your hands down, I'll come to you in a minute. Christopher Lee came up to me afterwards, and he said, a lovely character, that guy you played in it. What do you base it on? I didn't like to tell him that I based it on him. Hands up those of you who have seen that movie. Oh, a lot of you. Well, you'll see what I mean. You know what I mean? I took the mickey out of Chris. Because he's rather irascible on the set, and so I don't play him like that. But I also know the director, which helps. And that's why we played it for laughs. But we were only halfway through making it when Mr. Joe Sugar, the American producer, arrived and raised all hell and said, what the hell are you trying to do to my movie? I'm making a horror movie here, a horror movie, not a comedy. And he was furious. And he cut great chunks out of it because you couldn't stop it being a comedy, because right from the very opening shot I played it for laughs. So. Yeah. Yes, sir. Madam. Sir. Sir, hello, how are you?
Okay.
The hat fits beautifully. I've tried it on in front of the mirror. Thank you. He gave me a beautiful hat yesterday.
Okay, you say you were from a French family.
Yeah.
Have you lost your French?
Non. Non, je parle français.
Parfaitement.
Parfaitement. Avec un accent superbe. That is an interesting question. You see, if I answered that question, and I said that I thought that Patrick Troughton stank as an actor, and you say, oh, I rather like him, and I go into whole details of why I think he's a rotten actor. The next time you have Patrick Troughton as a guest, and you, the cheeky little sod that you are, you say, Jon Pertwee said, you stank as an actor. And Patrick Troughton said, oh, did he? So the next time somebody says, what do you think of Jon Pertwee as an actor, he tells them. So the answer to your question is that you never, ever, ever give an opinion about another actor, because you'd be hoisting yourself with your own petard. You'd be cutting your own throat. So you never give opinions of other people's performances. Do you understand the reasoning why? But now that you've said that, I did have favorites. I prefer all performances of any role to be played straight down the middle. Do you know what I mean by that? That doesn't matter what the fantastic situation may be, play it for real. And if you play it right down the middle and you play it with burning sincerity, it'll work. If you veer off and you play it for laughs, or you send it up, you'll die. So you can work that up yourself, who I like best. I must go back a little, so I'll come to you again in a minute. Yes, sir.
Have you seen much of the new Doctor, and what do you
Colin is a great mate of mine. I've only seen him for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean the show. I mean the show itself.
I mean the show. I didn't mean him. I've just been with him. We spent a whole conference in Austin, in Texas. We've just come from there about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's a great guy and a very good actor. Mr. Bargain. Did you ever see him in The Brothers? Series called The Brothers. Very fine series. If you get a chance to see it. He has only been in the Doctor a short time, and he hasn't been shown very much. And I've seen only minutes of him. So. In any case, the same thing applies. I mean, I'd hardly give an opinion against another friend. Yes?
It said in the monthly that you like to collect, or you like to tape,
bits out of series, like bits of costume in there. For example, Bach, you took that when it was over in the styrofoam and it's out in your garden. Do you remember that? That's what it says in the monthly.
It said that I pinch things from the set. Answer, yes, I do.
I was wondering what you were allowed to take from the 5 Doctors, or if you took anything at all.
You're allowed to take nothing from anything. But I did. I used to take it, yes. Do you know the story about Barry Letts and the Compass?
Yeah.
All right, oh, well. In the Navy, I was in the lower deck of the Navy, in the British Navy, and when you nick things, it's not considered thieving, it's called rabbits. And so that if you get an opportunity and you're going through the galley and you see a bit of meat or you see something to eat, you bang it in your pocket and it's not thieving, that's a rabbit. And so I got into the habit of rabbits, and if you're around somewhere, nobody seems to want things, like you're going into a farm where there are apples lying around, you know, you go scrumping and you nick the apples. So I did much the same thing in Doctor Who. My son was a great Doctor Who fan, Sean. He's now an actor training at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School in England. And he had a museum of all the bits and pieces out of Doctor Who. And so I used to grab things for him, and I would say to the prop department, do you want all these masks of mutants? And he'd say, no, go on, make one, have one. And they knew, but I was behind them. I wasn't obvious, I didn't carry him out saying, and so Sean built up quite a collection of goodies in his museum. Now, at the end of the Planet of the Spiders, I took rather a fancy to the Metabolus crystal. It's a beautiful thing. It was a lovely, lovely blue, and it looked like Bristol antique glass, and I thought that would look beautiful on my sideboard, see, so I stole the Metabolus crystal. Sean took the Metabolus crystal from me, and he put it in his museum, and a friend of his said, oh, that looks terrific. Can I borrow that? I'm making a little home movie. Can I borrow the Metabolus crystal? And George said, yeah, you can help yourself to anything, you see. He didn't mind that he didn't own it himself. He nicked it from me. And before I knew where I was, it had disappeared, and I didn't know where it was. And then Barry Letts decided that we're going to make another story, which I think was with my late predecessor. What was his name? That's the one. And Tom Baker had this, needed this crystal for whatever story it was. And Barry Letts said, okay, to the prop department, where's the Metabolus crystal? And they said, we don't know, but we think. You know where it may be. Barry said, don't say another word. Okay, so he rang me up and said, John, have you by any chance borrowed, just borrowed, the Metabolus crystal? And I said, yes. Unfortunately, somebody has borrowed it from me. Well, we had a hell of a search. We eventually found it, and it got back into the BBC's hands, so they used it. They've still got it.